The sun rising while
You
you're
are
home.
moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. Prepare for liftoff in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I'm the man what it look like. And you know I got the plan cause the book's tight. We can turn a grand to a good night. Money team flow so the hook right. Left head on swivel. What little trying to aim that dribble? Was a little you can try to hold that dribble? Was a little you can try to hold that dribble?
Hey,
Yes, Lord. Yes,
it's my
Lord, we
time
here.
now. I'm just here to make mama proud.
Hey man, we here.
Shout out to Daze.
We tapped in.
I love your pen, baby. You got a great pen. Great pen. Earlier today, I just want to shout out, Daze wrote another great song. When he's in that vibe, man, nothing can stand in his way. So I always just want to be a supportive partner, supportive of my love, because he be killing it. His pen is unmatched. Truly, truly, truly.
Yes, Lord. No, I appreciate that. No, it's necessary to channel. Make sure we all get on the cameras though. Are we scooted in the right way?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Because we hear, you can hear us audibly if you're tuned into the app. We want to make sure the visual experience is also aligning.
From YouTube to
can
TikTok.
you move in a little bit here too?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Yeah,
little details that irritate me. Hold on, what's going on?
Yeah, this one's at its full extent, so you might want to move yours actually a little closer. There you
Okay,
go. Yep.
okay.
There we go.
All right, cool. I like being close to you most of the time. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, life is life. People are people. Man, you probably taught me more than anybody that silence and distance is sometimes important, especially when you are navigating a level of spiritual warfare. So God bless everybody out there that has been tasked with a purpose. If you woke up today, then that was for a reason.
That's right. That's right. Your purpose has not been all the way fulfilled. And you still have more to learn. The day we stop learning is the day that there's something wrong.
Really, Odelia.
So, of course, you know, we start every show with a little bit about adventure of the week, things we've gone through this week since you last saw us, last heard us. Again, shout out to everybody on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We appreciate y'all. We see y'all.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you for being in the space with us. And if you tuned in at the end of last week's installment, then you know that we had a whole lineup of events last weekend here at Privy Stonecrest out in Atlanta, Georgia, on the outskirts, of course, in Stonecrest Mall. This is where we come to you live every Thursday. But also, not only is there a radio station here, but there's a whole complex of beautiful Black-owned businesses. So we had a health fair on Saturday. Excuse me. We hung out with the kids on Friday, had the block party on Friday too. So there was so many good things happening out here. So I hope that you guys were able to tune in. I hope that you guys were able to appreciate and see and be a part of the vibes with us. I definitely enjoyed the events that we went to this weekend. Of course, for me, I was super excited because I had the opportunity to teach yoga here, host the first ever yoga class here at Privy. So that was, that was a really, really cool moment. Shout out to all the ladies that joined me. And shout out to Lions Cage MMA for helping to organize this and keep us going. So definitely grateful. Look forward to more yoga classes in the Atlanta area and digitally. A lot more to come there. And then, of course, this upcoming Saturday is even more opportunities to get involved here at Privy. Obviously, we've got another summer concert series on Friday, another opportunity to hang out with the kids. And then Saturday is the first ever real deal sparring tournament, real deal match. We'll make sure we show y'all the flyer so you guys can appreciate and see it too. That's happening this Saturday. Daze and I will be in the building. So lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff.
Indeed.
Yeah. You have any adventures you'd like to share, Daze? Things you'd like to share?
Of course. But you go ahead and finish what you were saying, though.
Oh, that was that was all I had to say right now.
I don't think you went into detail about the event, though. That's what I was saying.
The sparring tournament?
Yeah, get those details.
Yes. So the sparring tournament is, like I said, it's on Saturday. It will be here at Privy. You can find all the information that you need. Awesome. You can find all the information you need on Privy Stonecrest website. Tickets are www.leaf, L-E-A-F, livin, no G, L-I-V-I-N.com. Free parking, of course, and the first fight begins at 7, and doors will open at 6 p.m. and all hosted by Baba Sifu. Big shout out to Chelsea Speaks, our amazing fearless leader here at 101 TKO Radio. She interviewed Baba Sifu and EJ, the owner of Lions Cage MMA, that's putting all of this on. So you can definitely tune into that previous recording on her platforms and, of course, on the app. And if you want to get your tickets in advance, definitely recommend it. It's only $30 online rather than having to pay $40 at the door. So hope to see y'all there. Big moment for Privy and the community out here. First of many as well.
Respect to the whole fight community. It's a great thing to have an organized way that we channel some of the intensities that we might feel. I know that it is a delicate journey for many of us, and especially for the youth, to be able to find an outlet that you could channel any anger, any sadness, any happiness, any joy. It's a beautiful thing just to have a platform that embraces that.
So true.
So much respect to Lions Cage. If you're ready to step in to that lion's den, then we'll see you on Saturday.
Yes. And there's still more opportunities. Even if you're not coming to the sparring competition, you can join the Lions Cage and get your own gloves, get in the ring, learn more about the boxing techniques, learn from me from yoga. There's so much that Lions Cage is offering here. So many ways to get involved, stay fit, and like Amir said, channel your energy accordingly.
Yes, indeed. So, a lot going on in the world. You asked about my adventures. Not only am I on the adventure of being a righteous, imperfect, but still striving for that perfection individual, black man in America, a older millennial witnessing a lot of many transformations in our world, in our country.
Would you say you're more of a younger millennial?
I guess. I got some younger millennial, older Gen Z. I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
Thanks for correcting me.
I don't want people thinking that, you know.
Yeah, I am towards, I guess, if you consider 95 to be towards the end of the millennial timeline, then I do fit in there. But yes, there was a major moments in United States history.
Yeah.
However you chop it up or break it down, whatever you believe actually occurred, there was a moment that really made the world stop in a lot of different ways when we saw a shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania, take a shot at the Republican nominee and the longtime celebrity at this point, Donald J. Trump.
The notorious Trump.
Absolutely. I'm sure everybody here that is tuning in and hearing our voices or seeing our faces right now, you've heard about this some way, somehow. So we're not going to necessarily get into the dirty details of the who, what, when, where, why. We're just going to really acknowledge what this means for us and how we can be mindful in taking this information and carrying forward and understanding that while history does repeat itself in certain ways, in other ways we've been living in unprecedented times. So there's no doubt that the media can develop a lot of different narratives on what occurs during different pivotal events, and doing our best to check multiple sources. I definitely encourage everybody to do that, just because your right to vote is critical. We have many rights, and when we understand the world and how governments and civilizations organize themselves, how power dynamics shift from generation to generation, situation to situation, it's important to keep your head on the swivel.
Definitely.
And just remembering that it's a very important thing to value your life, because just in a blink of an eye, there can be a moment where it flashes before you. So that's why it's so important just to continue to come back to yourself, to continue to understand who you are, the impact that you want to leave on this world. When we think about ourselves as creatives, as entrepreneurs, when we think about telling our own stories, they call it history for a reason, his story. So
That's right.
we are in a very beautiful position, but it's also complex because of artificial intelligence and things of that nature. In that same regard, we have to be grateful for the many forms of documentation. It's just not pen and paper or hieroglyphics anymore in terms of how we document what happens. We have high quality HD 4K video that we can also utilize to inform the next generations on what our experience was. So there's a very major responsibility that we have as a community, as a nation, as a world, as a planet, to pass on the right narrative to the next generation. And just a little bit of a more lighthearted segue as far as these major moments in government and how the narratives can be debated even years after based on media, camera work, etc., etc. Fly Me to the Moon.
So cute. I love that movie.
Scarlett Johansson, Channing Tatum. Two cultural faves for sure. Definitely appeal to many demographics. You know, they've been doing their thing for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going to the moon. 1969, did we actually do it? And the narrative around NASA, what was going on in the world during that time, also being world times, a lot of doom and gloom in the news and in the media. Yeah. So one of those lighthearted media stories that will give people hope was NASA. And it just so happens that JFK, who we know was assassinated, unfortunately, he made the declaration that he wanted the United States to be the first country to have a man on the moon.
Before the close of the 60s, too. So it really made it a whole space race.
Absolutely. So that NASA energy is definitely in the air in a lot of different ways. But yeah, the defined line between the red and the blue, mixing it together, turning it to purple. We are all are one family. No matter who you are on any side of a war, there are folks that lose loved ones. So this is why the vibrations, the healing components of music are so important, of, you know, just storytelling and entertainment that can bring people together and go further than entertainment. It can be activism and truly transform the world we're living in. So wow, a lot of adventures to speak to. I'm sure we all have our own personal battles that we're fighting outside of what we see going on in mainstream media. So definitely send in a lot of love, light, and encouragement and motivation and determination. Shout out to Nana Pat, the greats, you know, one of our beautiful elders, 81, still very active, you know, an author and an educator, many things, just all around queen, indeed, all around creative. We're going to keep on using our creative, brilliant minds, as she always says, and determination. So that's where we are right now. That's where we are.
Yep. And remember, with us, when we say NASA, we're talking about noble action, succeeding always. So we're going to keep on doing that, keep on rocking, and keep on moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. Let's get some music vibes, and we'll bring it on back. What's up? You are back moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. What's goody?
Yes. Knocking them off the box with that dangerous combination. You know what I'm saying? Jab, uppercut, haymaker. We're here. You know what I'm saying? We gotta stay fly. To the day that we rise. It is July 18th. Summer has been in effect. I mean, we're already pretty much halfway through it.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to think about. They got back to school ads coming out now too. The whole shebang dang. Just when we thought we was safe and we were deep in summer, boom, back to school time. Fall is around the corner. So all of my kids on summer break, my heart goes out to you, all the parents.
Yeah, there's some changes going on.
Yeah.
With schools. Yeah, educate people. You were just talking to one of our family members. Shout out to our younger cousin Avery, who's still in high school. They're changing some things about the summer break and everything, right? Which
is kind of trippy. And apparently this is happening on like a national scale. My auntie is in the education space. She's an amazing special ed and just overall bright light. That's just kind of how she carries herself. So she works a lot with kids that have those behavioral issues and something that might have to do with special needs and kind of helping them to communicate and everything. So she's really involved and always looking for more information that's coming out in the education space. So some big news that she's been telling us and that we're going to pass along to y'all is that apparently soon, or it's up for debate, let's say that, it's up for debate of making school a year-round experience. So there'll still be a air quote summer break, but it won't be 3 months. More like, just having way more breaks sprinkled in. And if you've noticed, that's what's already been starting to happen, right? You've been seeing how they'll have like a random, just like, oh, it's February, so you get a week off. Like, where did this come from? So I don't know. For everybody out there, the parents and the kids, how do y'all feel about it? Would you prefer to just have a whole bunch of breaks sprinkled in throughout the year, or would you prefer to still have your summer? So that's the debate. Apparently, it's kind of a budget issue as well. That's kind of how they're justifying it on the national scale. That this way they can keep the lights on and they don't have to like pay for the rent of the buildings, something like that, right? And also teacher salary, right? They pay teachers year round, but there's a whole 3-ish months where they're technically, not in school. So they're trying to see how they can get the most bang for their buck. We'll see as time goes on, we'll see it unfold. And as you can tell, I'm sure you guys have noticed it's already unfolding a little bit, right? Like you're already starting to see how the summers and the breaks are changing. Even in Atlanta, out in McDonough, they're going to school like first week of August, which is crazy. I can't even imagine doing that. But that's the way things are moving now.
A lot of levels, a lot of layers. And when we were here last Friday, we were actually speaking to a bright young light, a 13-year-old young lady, Riley.
Yeah.
Shout out to the 11-year-old young man, Javon. But Riley was homeschooled.
Yep.
So, they were featured here on 101 TKO. And just letting us know their perspective. And, Riley definitely let us know that she's on guard from all the spiritual warfare that's going on in entertainment.
Yeah, the attacks.
Just kind of just being aware of not chasing fame. She was speaking from a very grounded space. And it seems like, the amazing connection she has with her mother has inspired and influenced her perspective on the world.
Yeah.
And I'm sure her being homeschooled as well gives her a unique perspective on how to manage her time. And things of that nature.
Yeah.
Definitely shout out to my cousins in North Carolina that were homeschooled for a good minute. That's how I got a little bit of perspective on that kind of lifestyle. But it's always that question of how do you still build up those social skills?
Yeah.
And we know with the pandemic and, school being remote for a good amount of time across the nation, across the world, there were, some issues that we had to address in regards to, okay, how do we still ensure that we're building certain skill sets, especially when it comes down to socializing and interacting with human beings.
I'm so glad you mentioned that part because that was apparently another part of the justification on the national scale of why this is being considered is that a lot of kids are still playing catch up from the pandemic. You've got like 6th graders that are still reading on a 3rd grade level. And that's like a nationally wide issue. So if they make school year round, then they can, really put the pedal to the metal more and get these kids up to the levels that they need to be at. Because again, pandemic, even though it's 3 years ago, education is still feeling the effects of that.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting because I know this is something that you and I have even considered, Days. We haven't had kids yet, but we know that one day we would like to, God willing. And that was something that we've discussed as well. What kind of upbringing would we want our kids to have? Would we want them to experience, a public school experience? Would they go to private school? Would they go to some kind of hybrid program? I've even seen, communities come together that are, what do they call them? They call them like school pods or something, where this is definitely more in like the upper echelons and the bourgeois that do this, come together as a group and find their own private tutor and just create their own kind of mini school. So in this modern age, there's so many new ways you can do this, especially with internet and Zoom and every other tool that's out there, Discord, that makes it easier. So, time will tell. Time will definitely tell.
It shall. It shall. The future.
Yeah.
Definitely got to invest in it.
This is not on topic, but I did ask the TikTok community if they had any questions, and someone that just followed, Bunny, shout out to Bunny, thanks for following on TikTok. They asked, what is a good way to, I guess, make your puppy chill out? Every time she pats the puppy, puppy wants her to stop. She just needs help understanding what to do with her puppy.
How did they know that we were dog
people? I don't know. She somehow Bunny knew that we are dog people. We love dogs. So thanks for the question. I don't know why
no stupid questions here.
No, yeah. Like, I'm glad you felt the energy. We love dogs too. Do you want to start off?
Calming down a excited puppy. One thing that was big for me, giving a little ear rub. Right behind their ears.
Right behind the
massaging
ears.
Behind their ears. That one will work a lot. Getting their attention with food. The food might excite them at first.
Yeah.
But if you kind of inspire them, say, hey, if you sit, you get the food.
Yep.
And rewarding the
good behavior. Yeah.
And just the chill mode that you're looking for. If they're in chill mode, it's, you're in chill mode. Now you can have a treat.
Yes,
if you're doing
them.
too much, we're not going to do the treat if you're overexcited. So
yes, that's great advice. I think the only thing I would add is sometimes you got to let the puppy just whine, just like a baby. Sometimes you got to just let the baby and the puppy whine it out. You can't always reward the cries, to sit on your lap, to pet you, to be petted. Sometimes you got to say, no, right now I got things to do, so that they understand how to be independent and take care of themselves too. Obviously, there's levels to this. I'm not encouraging baby abuse or, puppy abuse, but there's levels to it when it comes to good parenting. I'm just letting letting your baby, learn, hey, this is the time when you can what's it called? I can't think of the word. Not nurture. Self-calm.
Yeah.
There's a word
Self-soothe.
for self-soothe.
Self-soothe.
There it is. Yep. Helping them learn how to self-soothe. Yeah. Thanks, Bunny, for that question.
No, really appreciate it. Really
I hope you heard it. I think you just came back in. But yeah, Bunny, we were just saying, I hope you heard.
Much gratitude. And if you didn't hear it, you can tune in on the One-on-One TKO YouTube, the One-on-One TKO app to listen back.
That's right.
All right. A moment to give gratitude and share some advice. Again, we have a lot going on right now in our lives and in the world, but as I like to say, life is a mere days. It can seem complex, but it's really simple.
Yeah.
When you break it down and you zoom out a bit. And to be grateful is a amazing solution for so many problems. Just to pause for a moment and start counting all the things that you're grateful for.
That's right. What's good that's going on right now?
Absolutely. Take that deep breath and sit back a little bit and really just look at how far you've come.
Yeah.
And one of the greats in this world, and more specifically in the realm of music, Ricky Bell from New Edition, Bell Biv DeVoe. It was the Rochester Summer Soul Music Festival in 2022, where we were at the Oh, actually, this was 2021. Yeah, because 2022 was Babyface. So 2021, we had Belle Biv DeVoe and Guy as co-headliners, and we kind of had the verses before the verses, low key high.
Yeah, no, it's for real.
And it's funny when we kind of came back, in 2022, Babyface was one of the early verses. He and Teddy Riley had gone head to head. So there's just so many great times. I'm speaking to it correctly. No, it was 2019. 2019 was Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yep, Belle Biv DeVoe.
So it's just
yeah, you got it.
Nah, I'm speaking correctly. Man, we've been having these festivals. Huh?
we've been doing it.
We make some things happen.
Out in Rochester, New York, baby.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. So 2021 was Boys to Men.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
That said, Ricky Bell, he had mentioned that to this day, whether they're in a stadium or whether they're in an intimate room, whether it's 10 people or 100,000 people, the energy is the same. Mm-hmm. He strives to give the same performance. Mm-hmm. So just being so grateful for where we are right here, right now, and knowing that we want to have the same quality, whether we have 0 viewers or whether this reaches a global platform like the Super Bowl. Yep. And we're able to storytell on that level. And we're certainly calling out the things that we want to achieve. We're putting goals on the vision board. We are speaking life over our goals so that we can properly manifest, if you will. And the goal is to have millions upon millions of listeners and supporters for a variety of just endeavors, especially, again, when we think about the 101 TKO radio space. There are so many amazing personalities that have a lot to offer.
That's right. And
when we think about the success stories of a lot of great people, they are tested in platforms before they're, able to break through to that spotlight.
That's right. Everything comes with its tests.
Everything comes with its tests. The Beatles. If you read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, it's a pretty popular book. A lot of people and author. Yeah, he has a book called The Tipping Point too, and a number of other ones. Those are the two that I kind of got into. But Outliers talks about like this concept of putting in your 10,000 hours to become a master. Yeah. So this is especially relevant for a lot of our artistpreneurs out there. And with the Beatles, they were doing shows out in Europe, really just getting paid on bar food. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They were just doing.
And that was for a little minute.
That was for a minute.
Yeah.
Before they really blew up and became these international sensations. So the list goes on. I know there's a lot of folks here in Atlanta and beyond doing those open mics. So continue to put in that work.
Yep.
Continue to be consistent in the content that you create, and they will find you. Build it, and they shall come.
Ooh, I love that. Snaps to that. Because if we're really talking, it's getting biblical. There's been stories about this since the dawn of time of choosing to overcome, listen to your voice, listen to your intuition. And if you have a gift, if you have a talent, whether anybody else recognizes it or not, your talent is your talent. And like Daze said, keep on showing up to those open mics. Keep on going live, even if it's to a person of nobody, an audience of no one, right? Keep on showing up and you will see the fruits of your labor. You will see the fruits of your efforts.
Absolutely. And appreciate those that support you early.
That's right.
Focus on the good. Focus on those supporting you. Again, you got to respect the darkness.
Yeah.
But focus on those supporting you. So shout out to Bunny asking that question about our fluffy friends.
And I want to shout out Malone Adams. You've been watching this whole TikTok live while we've been going live, Moonwalking with Dawn Daze. So shout out to you. Thanks for being in the building with us.
Gratitude.
Everybody here, we appreciate you, from YouTube to TikTok to Instagram to Facebook to, of course, the 101 TKO radio app.
Yes, Lord. It's 404 and an A.
Hey.
Moonwalking with Dawn and Daze on 101 TKO radio.
Whoop.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That
Moonwalking with Dawn and Daze on 101 TKO Radio.
Whoop.
Hey, we broadcasting to the world, so we have to learn how to say that in pretty much every language. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be cool, actually.
Aloha, hola, como está, konnichiwa, ni hao, ciao, bonjour. All of us.
All of the above. Ciao?
Yeah, ciao.
Yeah, is that Italian? Ciao,
Yeah.
ciao bella.
Ciao, bella.
Isn't that like hello beautiful?
Indeed. Well, ciao. Ciao. Yes, Lord. Shout out to Bryce's new joint, ciao. That's been, going up a little bit.
Oh, vibes.
Yes. So, yeah, we talk a lot about what's going on in the external world, but let's just direct a little focus to our internal universe. Sending prayers of health and wealth to anybody fighting an internal battle.
Yes. Whether it's with yourself, whether others know about it, whether everyone knows about it. Yeah.
Mentally, physically, spiritually, all of it. Saying special prayers for a beautiful, beautiful soul in my village, one of the aunties that is just continuing to understand what it means to fight these internal battles. I know we have a lot of queens in the village and aunties specifically that have fought and conquered certain storms.
Yeah.
So I know we're in cancer season, but you know what I'm saying? It's F cancer, F COVID, F anything that's not for our highest health.
That's right.
But we love you, cancers. Shout out to the cancers. We're right at the end of cancer season. We're right about to enter Leo.
Yes. Leo's around the corner.
Indeed. So, kings and queens, lions and lionesses. It's all season. Go ahead, shine that bright. It's that season to pop out. You know what I'm saying? Pop out and show them. That's the vibe.
That's right. Get in the fire. But we still a little bit of water going on right now. So let's make sure we're flushing out our emotions and nurturing ourselves accordingly. Every time something of significant health is going on in a loved one's life, it's always that divine reminder to make sure that you're, looking inward as well. So definitely holding myself accountable. If you know us personally, then you know that we're very candid about our health journey. And if you've been tuning in for a while, then you also know we're candid about our health journeys. I've got, some type of autoimmune. I'm autoimmune prone. I just know that much, right? There's so many different ways to define autoimmune. And I still, after knowing that I've had autoimmune for 6 years, still don't really know exactly what it is. It comes out in forms of eczema. It comes out in other ways, bowel movements, if you know what I'm saying. I'm sure there's a lot of girlies out there that try to act cute, but we all know that IBS is nothing to play with. So definitely make sure you're doing what you can to take care of your internal health. I know Daze has got his own stuff too. So we're candid about it. We keep it real. It's important that, you're not ashamed of what you're going through. And the moment that we let shame fall to the wayside, the easier it is to get help, the easier it is to be an inspiration for somebody else to do the same. So let's make sure we're continuing to be audacious and bold and honest about anything we might be going through. Of course, always respect your privacy. HIPAA is a real thing. But of course, how you could benefit and help another person just by sharing your own story.
All of that.
Yeah.
All of that. Here we are. We continue to develop this show, this format, in a way where we're responsibly exercising the blessings and the lessons that we've learned to be able to experience a level of privilege, to be gifted certain experiences, certain knowledge, certain skill sets, and to not use them is a true shame.
Yeah.
Underdeveloped and unfulfilled potential is one of the saddest stories you can imagine.
One of the biggest disappointments.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to get caught up in the sob stories, right? We're going to pick our heads up and we're going to make it happen. That's what we're going to do. So that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And we have to understand, everybody, if you are working on anything and you would not personally give it your time, energy, attention, or resources, you're playing a dangerous game thinking that other people are going to give it their time, energy, attention, or resources.
So true. Yeah. You got to go hardest for yourself.
Absolutely.
Go hard for the things you love before you ask somebody else to.
Indeed. And you also got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we'll hold ourselves accountable. There are certainly many podcasts and platforms and stations and personalities and artists and entrepreneurs that have had amazing success that we've studied and that we've learned from. And when you have certain times in history where the world stops, whether it's a recession or a pandemic, a depression, whatever it is, war times, a lot of folks say that that's the time to really take a risk and invest.
Yeah.
Because on the other side of it are new winners, new paradigms, new leaders, or leaders that adjusted properly.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. There's plenty of moments where you could see that in history. Even the formation of media itself came from darkness, Great Depression. So there's real history behind it. I just want to shout out everybody on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
Makes the room feel a little bit more.
Yeah.
Shout out to TikTok, but shout out to you. You know, hitting that milestone of 1,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah, that nothing but God on that one.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of happened one day. I was like, oh snap, I got 1,000 followers. Yes, so definitely shout out to y'all. Shout out to Diamond. She's been holding it down and watching alongside. I think your name's Mahone. I appreciate you, Malone. You're everyone in the building. Really
Malone
appreciate it,
Adams.
guys. Yeah.
For sure, salute.
So it's dope. And if you guys have any questions or things that you want us to talk about, like we're here. We are watching it in real time, watching the chats in real time. Shout out to everybody.
Indeed.
But I love what you were talking about, Daze, as far as like, this is when change is occurring. I can't help but think about, what's going on politically. We already talked a little bit about the assassination attempt. I'm just going to call it that. I'm just going to put that out there. The assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. We don't need to get too lost in the other details right now. Also saw a headline recently that Biden has COVID, and then another headline that was saying that something about Biden might be dropping out of the race. Who knows? Who knows for sure? We also watched his complex interview with Speedy, and he said in the interview that the only way that he would not be running for president is that if he got hit by a train. Knock on wood, because I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I don't want anything to happen to anybody. Keep it positive.
That really hits home. If you read Nana Pack's, you know what I'm saying, book, from the outhouse to the Little Red Schoolhouse, real life is real life. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna let you read that book, and we gonna bring in Nana Pack's on too.
No, that's so true.
Oh, we did. We did talk about bringing her in soon. So we'll figure out. We'll have a guest next week. Y'all stay tuned.
Yep.
We'll figure out which guest it'll be. We have a number of different amazing people and souls that we want to,
include on this platform. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We love having people in the space. We love moonwalking, which is Daze and I. But it is also fun to have other people live in effect with us too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I can't help but think about what's going on politically. I think that similar to 2020 was an election year too, right?
Yep.
Goodness gracious.
4 years.
Goodness gracious. But yeah, even in 2020, I remember I was going live and talking about this. Like, no matter what happens, same thing, Biden versus Trump. No matter what happens, remember to focus on yourself first and foremost. I think we all feel a certain energy in the air, a certain bubbling of uncertainty of, is America still a powerhouse, right? Or economy, all these different things that, like, the buzzwords of all of this when we think about politics and we think about voting for our next president. The biggest thing that I'm learning and that I would want to pass along to everybody else is focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can control. Place your ballot and put it in Almighty's hands. How can you protect yourself? I'm thinking of all the different ways we got to protect ourselves. Spiritually, mentally, physically, weapons, stockpiling, so on and so forth. I'm not even trying to be all doom and gloom, but let's just keep it 100 stack and make sure that we are doing what we got to do to protect ourselves at all times. So I encourage all of us to consider this the year of love, the year of self-love, the year of radiating that and focusing on that more than anything else. Because if we're all focusing on loving ourselves more, there's really no room for hate to even exist. Like if really think about it, if we all really focused on loving yourself more and loving your fellow man more, we wouldn't have a lot of the problems we have. So That's what I continue to go back to.
That's where it gets so interesting, right? Because people are people.
Yeah.
Life's gonna life. People gonna people.
Yeah.
I posted that recently on Facebook. It got some, good motion, good traction a little bit. I think got about 20 likes, loves, if you will. Trying to show up more in all these different spaces. I've definitely neglected some of these other social platforms outside of Instagram. So I'm just trying to show all these platforms love.
I'm sure that a lot of millennials can relate. We just focus.
Oh, yeah.
We love our Instagram,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Us millennials of all, whether you're old millennial or young millennial.
Different reasons and seasons,
Yeah.
you know?
But I've been liking TikTok lately. I'm gonna shout out TikTok.
TikTok's
I have really been enjoying it.
No, I love it. You
It
know,
can be very addicting though.
Hey, it's been a journey, man. I've been here since the MySpace days. You know what I'm saying? Even a little bit before then, I was on game, to some of those platforms. But shout out to all those that have been engaging in these spaces and sharing insight, sharing information. It's incredibly, incredibly important to show up for yourself and to show up for your community, show up for your people.
Mm-hmm.
We're in that season where you will be tested. We've learned lessons so that we can apply.
Yeah.
So that's where we are right now. That's what we see in the rest of this year as we prepare for this election. And we understand that there are many different voices that we can hear. However, what we do after that, how do we take those voices and use them as a benefit and help us hear our voices more rather than those voices being a distraction from what is right for us.
I love that. You had mentioned the quote "people going people." Is there something in that specific wheelhouse too that you wanted to elaborate more on as well?
There was something I was going to say. I think I lost the train of thought a little bit. What were you saying right before that?
Focusing on yourself. Imagine if we were all just focused more on self-love, there really wouldn't be a lot of room for anything else.
Precisely. I think I was going to bring it back to people and the people, and even as human beings, there are elements of our experience that aren't all, lollipops
Sunshine
and rainbows.
yeah.
Sunshine and rainbows, all that good stuff, right? And it makes life worth living. I know.
Makes you appreciate the sunshine and rainbows more.
Absolutely. Believe it was Shakespeare, or whoever, Shakespeare might have some ghostwriters too, but Shakespeare, Drake, tomato. Respect, man. Respect to the whole culture. That ain't even no shade for real. It's just art, man. It's just legacy and impact. It's so intricate.
Yeah.
And knowing how close Kendrick and Drake have been at different chapters. Everybody in the world is going through their own challenges, but trust and believe, both of these brothers have their challenges too. And Kendrick Lamar was himself uneasy about certain things, and he chose to express.
Yeah.
And again, we have to continue to deal with the consequences of our actions. There's a reason that Cole did what he did. So respect to our brother Cole. Mm-hmm. All this to say, again, it's a beautiful thing to love yourself and to love others. But in that process, I think one of the prime examples is a baby. Even if you literally just were talking about it as far as a dog, as much as you love the baby needs to cry.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that first cry. Just to know that the baby is here and the baby's all right. The baby's alive.
That's so poetic. Yeah. So true.
So it's that delicate balance, because we can learn to love the things that are difficult. And though it might not be easy, we can do it with ease. Mm-hmm. And that comes with a divine source of peace, a divine source of power. So that's what we're going to continue to focus on.
Yeah.
Building these platforms that can keep you up to date on what's going on in the world overall. In that same regard, we want to respect this lens. We are a innovative platform. We are a new space where we want to be mindful that it's not just entertainment, it's not just news, it's valuetainment.
That's right.
So you can take it and apply it to your own life. And again, we're just respecting how the world around us has evolved, because we're not living in the same kind of ecosystem. We have many more perspectives that are able to be shared, and we see it in real time, this idea of misinformation, who's right, who's wrong. it's not just these major platforms. They're the smaller platforms. But no matter how big your platform is or how small your platform is, you can put out misinformation. So it's very important to stay humble, to again check our resources, to check our sources, and ensure that we're highlighting all voices.
Yeah.
We're hearing all sides of the coin, but at the same time, if the coin is counterfeit, two sides of the same coin is still counterfeit. I know that's a lot of people's qualm and issue with the American government system. They feel like the government in general hasn't been the most transparent and honest with its people. So,
Yeah. Right wing, left wing, same bird.
yeah. Hey man, red and blue.
But
Turn
yeah,
to
y'all,
purple, baby.
we gonna keep on moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. We're gonna pay some bills, get some music in. We'll come back to close out the show. Appreciate y'all.
That's love. worry about that. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. That was Minds Over Matters by yours truly, Amir Daze. Shout out to Mickey LaDawn in the building.
Yes, hey, I'm here.
It's a blessing, man. The Dawn and Daze vibes are real. If you see that video, you will see us in Houston, Texas.
Holding it down.
It was an alignment of stars with that video. You want to share a little bit about the location? And you definitely were major support. Shout out to you being my consistent video vixen. Shout out to you. Just showing out.
Any day, anytime, I'm ready. It doesn't matter to me days. I'll always be your video vixen.
Aw.
Yes.
No, I appreciate that. For real.
But yeah, shout out to that moment when we recorded the Minds Over Matters videos. A little bit of another tidbit, little fun fact for you. We actually had to record that video twice. We recorded it once, and then our videographer, she had a whole moment where all of the footage that she had from that day, so not only did we record another video with her that day, but she recorded a video for somebody else, and she lost all of that footage.
Back up your files, creatives.
Yeah, back up your files.
And it's good that we had a good relationship with her.
Yeah, it was cool.
You know, she's good. She's great, professional, that good stuff overall, but sometimes you got a client that can maybe really give you a hard time if you have a whole day of shooting and that footage does not get saved. Yeah, we were able to work it out. She gave us a good deal, so it was all good. But definitely, we were really understanding. And, it happens. We're creatives, too. We know how it goes down. Shout out to Tag Productions. Yep. Absolutely. Out in Houston, if you're looking to do any video work. I believe she's still doing videos every now and then, but I know she started to transition a little bit more
into the corporate space.
Exactly.
Yep.
Coyote on the beat, you already know. Yes.
So it was definitely a family affair. We consider her part of the NASA family. You know what I'm saying? So we had to record that video twice. So the second time was like a couple months later because we left Houston, then we came back.
Yep.
And I'm glad that we re-recorded it because then we ended up having the entire building, pretty much the sections that we were working with, to ourselves. It looks like we just paid Post to be able to own this, to just use the building for the day. We did not. That was just divine alignment because we happened to be recording a video on a Monday.
Major NASA activation there too, which was perfect.
Which was perfect because when we first recorded it, they didn't have as much of the bells and whistles of the activation done. But when we came back 2 months later, it was all there. So it looked like it was like we paid to have the Post building to ourselves and we paid for a NASA sponsorship. Nope, that was just all God helping us out.
Blessings.
And so for those that don't know, Post is this really amazing new concept in Houston. They took the old UPS building, which was huge, Postal Service building, huge building where a lot of the mail was entering for Texas. And obviously people aren't sending in the same capacity as they used to. So the building had been abandoned for a while. So they turned half of it into a whole new music hall. I think they added a little bit onto it too so it could function properly. So 713 Music Hall is attached to it. Really dope venue. It's a Live Nation venue. And then Post, which is next to it, all kind of like I said, one big complex, is kind of like a co-working space. It's an event space. They have a food court. And then the coolest part that I really like is the top floor, which is like a rooftop deck terrace type of situation. And they're always adding new stuff. They got a garden. They do yoga up there. They do movie nights there. If you've known us well, you know that we love some GO3 vodka. So we've had GO3 vodka events there too for Juneteenth. They've been great partners for us as well, Post. So big shout out to them. If it was possible for us to rent out the building, I think we would have tried it, but there was no need. Monday.
The Most High had us covered.
Exactly. But that was a really cool moment. And I always look forward to just being able to go back over there because that was not a thing when I was a kid. There's so many things in Houston that we did not have growing up in North Houston, Spring area. So shout out to all the people out there in Houston. I'm praying for y'all. I'm hoping that everything is recovering well in your bodies and your home and just the environment around you. Sending love to all of my Houston fam bam, NASA family and beyond.
Yes, indeed. Much love, much light.
Yeah.
We here, man. It's just continuing to embrace all of these opportunities to create. You gotta seize the moment, seize the day, carpe diem, and honor that every day is truly precious.
Yeah.
Want to send our love to the Bryant family. Again, just our condolences, our prayers, our blessings, and beyond, and all efforts and actions that we can take too. You know, the great Joe Jelly Bean Bryant was called home and joined the ancestors this past week, and
he's there with his son.
Yes, indeed, and his grandbaby.
Yep.
You know, so embracing Kobe and Gigi without interruption. One of my amazing mentors, and you know, he's a basketball trainer of many greats, including Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and many others. But he actually shared the news. King Wayne Slappy, who is an awesome writer, and he's training the youth today, still in basketball, and he's still writing amazing scripts. So
that's right.
It's just such a blessing to know Wayne, and I'm grateful that he was able to be the one to share that news with me. You know, it's definitely one of those bittersweet things, because we don't want to lose him, but I know he missed Kobe. I know he missed Gigi.
Yeah, and my heart goes out to Kobe's mother now too.
Absolutely,
you know,
Queen Pam.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sending much love all across the world, A little bit of a lighthearted transition as we talk about the Lakers and LA energy. Bronny's been getting a lot of attention. We'll call it that.
Media coverage.
Yeah. And as the son of a great man, I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for all the shenanigans. And you know, I know Bronny has already confronted this multiple times within himself. But I feel like every son of a great man, you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Before I go deeper into that decision, I want to reference a quote that I came across. It essentially talks about how weak men are a product of strong men. And when you look at generations and you look at the man that had to walk to work and worked hard, and in that generation made a whole new way for himself, and then has an environment where their kids can maybe ride a bike.
Yeah.
And then those kids can maybe drive a car.
Yeah.
And how the cycle can potentially reset if you aren't careful. And this is the decision you have to make, I believe, as a son of a great man.
And as a father.
And as a father. It's definitely a two-way street, but with the son being the one to carry the baton forward, you have to make a decision on how you develop your mindset in life and the experiences that you intentionally explore. Because if you don't necessarily grow up around struggle, then you can avoid it in a lot of ways and not really understand it.
Yeah.
And I think the goal is always to be a
well-rounded,
well-rounded,
proper grit to handle it.
Absolutely, you know what I'm saying. You want to be a well-rounded, holistic individual, and greatness.
It's 4:44. Well, not 4:45, but
I love it. Shout out to my pops. Greatness is contagious is one of his big phrases. So when we talk about that aspect of greatness is something that we have to dig deep to navigate and achieve. And
that's right.
Knowing.
Hey, Tamika.
Oh, Tamika in the building. Appreciate the support always, Queen. It's incredibly important just to, again, know that beyond your genetics, there is a approach, there's a craft, there's a mentality, there's a killer instinct that you can cultivate. You know, some things you can't teach, but you have to make a choice. Again, we were talking about it earlier today as well. Again, pressure can either make diamonds or burst pipes. And when your back's against the wall, when it's just you and the problem, when it's just you and that individual, you and that person, you and that person in the mirror, you got to decide what are you going to do with it. So I think, you know, Bronny has definitely been on the journey. It's cool. They're celebrating in the media. Him shooting is making his first three. You know what I'm saying? He drained that joint. So shout out to that. But it's bigger, in my perspective, than Bronny picking up a basketball. That is great. Again, definitely salute to that. A lot of talented folks out here in this world that have shot that ball and, you know, changed their lives.
Yeah.
But here we're in a situation where people are talking about nepotism. They're talking about, all right, does he deserve it? Does he not? And ultimately, you're entitled to your perspective. LeBron is who he is, and he has the connections that he has. So if we are going to make the best of this situation, then ideally we can move in a way where we have more leverage, more ownership.
Yeah.
Because even when it comes down to the branding and the whole aspect of the story of seeing a father and son play together in the NBA, that's definitely going to affect sales. Mm-hmm. So if you are increasing sales, then how do you make a case to be an owner? Mm-hmm. I'm a Washington Wizards fan. I'm an overall basketball fan. I love a lot of players, but I grew up in the DMV. You know, DC's in my backyard, from PG County, Maryland, Prince George's. Michael Jordan also played for the Wizards for a little bit. He joined the Wizards because he was told he was going to be able to buy the team. There was some drama there, and it didn't necessarily work out. But that's the only other jersey he wore outside of the Chicago Bulls jersey. Mm. So, you know, MJ came out of retirement a number of different times. So just to see another amazing face of the league, another great, again, all love to Kobe. Kobe's so special, you know what I'm saying? It's that Mamba year, 2024. We celebrating all year and beyond, making the most of those 24 hours, celebrating it all year and beyond. But with Bron, the trajectory for this is going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to them doing their thing, Bronny developing his skill set. And, again, it's in the blood. It's in the DNA.
Yeah. He's LeBron Jr. for a reason. That's literally his name.
Exactly.
Tamika wanted to shout out Love It for Bron and his son, Team Lakers.
Hey.
And thank you for the gifts on our live as well on TikTok. Very, very much appreciated.
No, so much gratitude.
Thank
Appreciate
you, Tamika.
y'all.
Thank you, Tamika.
Absolutely.
But yes, I just love to see Black people, Black family thriving, right? That's the most important thing, and I think it's beautiful. And obviously, I'm sure Bronny's known his whole life that he was going to have to be, you know, fighting that whole thing of being the son of a great man. He's known that for a long time. So I think with a lot of things, even with when I think about myself, when I start something new, I may not be the best at it, but you probably could give me most improved. And I think that that's the story of Bronny as well and what he's going through in real time. He's young, dropped into a league that everyone's got his, you know, expectations of him, putting all this extra pressure on him. So it's like, just let him cook, give him some space, and look what happens, right? Mm-hmm. I know even Shaq kind of put out a PSA, like, ease up on my nephew, you know. So I just want to keep seeing Black family thriving and young people in general just living in their purpose and living in their gifts. And so I'm here for it. I'm cheering them on.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it. In the spirit of this energy of carrying things forward, legacy, I know we talked a little bit about our adventures and we covered Planet Love a bit.
Yeah.
Just talking about, you know, family and healing, music, movies, media, our M-Cubed. Before we get to our Stargazer Zone.
Mm-hmm. We'll probably play a song when we come back.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, we'll probably just wrap up here and then close out with music. So
okay.
You can go ahead and get into it a little bit. But is there anything else that you wanted to share?
I thought you were going to ask something a little more specific. Open-ended wise, I just am appreciating the energy in the space. Thank you for everybody being here with us, from Instagram to TikTok to Facebook to YouTube. Thanks for being here with us. Beautiful things in the air. Love to moonwalk with my boo-boo, you know.
I feel that. What is, again, we were just talking about a little bit of the astrology, so just tell us what's going on in the stars a bit.
Okay. So let's tune into the astral report in our Stargazer Zone. For those of you that were listening earlier, you already know we are in Cancer season. We are approaching the end of Cancer season, about to hit Leo season. Leo season will start on the 22nd. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-ish days to appreciate and bask in this Cancer energy a little bit longer. And Cancer is a water sign, so it's all about that, nourishment and emotions and healing and conversation. And it's almost like the mother sign, right? So all my Cancers out there, you already know that you just want to care for those that you love, right? And that's what this season has been about, caring for self, caring for others, and showing up in the best way that you know how to be a nurturing and healthy partner to those around you. So right now, though, the moon, the sun is in Cancer, but the moon is in Sagittarius. And right now we have the Sagittarius waxing gibbous moon. So Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's things that have to do with taking action and making things happen. So I'm encouraging all of us to take that action, make things happen, focus on having an optimistic perspective on life, and you'll see that even with the dark times, like we said when we started the show, when you make a list of all the things you're grateful for, it's a lot harder to focus on the things that you're not grateful for, right? So let's keep that optimistic approach in mind, keep focusing on our mission and vision and philosophy to carry us forward. And like I said, this is a waxing gibbous, so we're getting very, very close to the full moon this Sunday, right? So only in a few days, right when Leo season will be beginning. We'll have that full moon in Aquarius. Shout out to Day season Aquarius moon. And the Aquarius is all about air and communication and clearing up things. It may feel chaotic at times, but that's because it's making way for clarity and vision and to help us close out cycles. So this full moon will be shining a light on the places that cycles need to be closed out, right? Where you need to put things to rest so that you can properly let other things come into full bloom. So let's continue to focus on that today and tomorrow. Well, actually tomorrow it will be back in Capricorn. So right now, where can you take action? Where can you plant seeds and take deliberate steps so that when the full moon comes on Sunday, you're prepared for it, you're ready for it, and you can embrace it wholeheartedly and fully. So much love to everybody. Namaste, Ashe, all of the above. Full moon is upon us, and Leo season is right around the corner. Yay!
Leo season. Shout out to my sister.
Yes. Leo queen.
Indeed, indeed. Quick thing will fly me to the moon. What was your favorite part?
Okay. Rapid fire. My favorite part of Fly Me to the Moon was Scarlett Johansson's character. Just in general, I liked that she had a great character arc and just what she was going through as far as learning how to, be vulnerable. I think a lot of women, especially now, can relate to that story, whether or not she's a real person or not, I'm not sure. But that story of being in our masculine, thinking that we have to be the ones to get everything done by any means necessary. And in the story, you see that she learns how to soften up and let others help her and finds other ways rather than just by any means, maybe more righteous means of getting things done. So that was my favorite part, just like her whole essence and character. I related to her, so I appreciated it.
For sure. Yeah, my favorite part was seeing them actually create that visual element of those first steps on the moon and addressing the aspect of conspiracy.
Yeah.
Because, even after the movie, it's still a little bit up in the air.
Did we actually go to the moon?
Right, right. And just how elaborate certain things can be in media and what we believe.
Yep.
And what gets written.
Lonzy is a Leo. Make sure you send her a happy birthday when you see her.
Yes, Lord. So, it's one of those things, again, as a world, as a nation, and we saw a lot of different ways that it was really an ego thing. America versus Russia.
Yep. Big ego. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's where, I guess, just is the narratives that typically the narratives that get broadcasted are the ones that people believe the most. Again, why, I know Charlemagne says this a lot, why believe the truth when the lie is more entertaining?
Yep.
So this is where it's just interesting, and especially with all of the alignment that I'm seeing as far as the film, what was happening around that time, JFK, that assassination, this movie just coming out within the past couple of weeks, and we just had another, situation, an assassination attempt.
Yeah.
It's more than a situation; it's a potential turning point again. It was almost a traumatic event.
Yeah.
And for some
was
folks there,
already traumatic.
That was already
Yeah.
traumatic. You know what I'm saying? So just definitely not getting too lost in the politics to where we forget to respect humanity and respect the fact that people do have lives and families beyond what you see on that screen and beyond their mistakes or wrongdoings. So the world we live in, I look forward to going to the moon again as a nation. I look forward to the possibilities on the horizon with space tourism and the opportunities there.
Yeah.
But the skies only the start. The sky's not the limit. The sky's
literally
only the start.
moonwalking with Dawn Daze as we moonwalk on the moon. That'd be pretty dope. I want to see it.
We might have to get a set going.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing installment of Moonwalking with Dawn and Daze. Want to shout out again at Privy tomorrow. You can bring your kids by from 2 to 6 to either learn from us or other amazing businesses here about the behind the scenes of how to run a business, how to bring media to life, boxing training. There's so many great things that we're doing here from 2 to 6 tomorrow, as well at 6 p.m. tomorrow. There'll be a live band, and you can get some music, good vibes, food, and enjoy yourself. It is a free event. And then, of course, Saturday, Daze and I will be in the building too. I'll be helping to teach some of the yoga to the fighters. We'll have our sparring competition, first ever held here at Privy Stonecrest. Doors open at 6. First fight is at 7. Get your tickets now online for only $30 at Leaf Livin, LEAFLIVIN.com. Otherwise, if you don't get your tickets in advance, it'll be $40 at the door. But just know parking is free. All of this is hosted by Lions Cage MMA, housed here at Privy Stonecrest, and in partnership with Baba Sifu. So we hope to see you all there at these upcoming events, and we'll be back for more on our next week's installment of Moonwalking with Dawn Daze. We might have a guest in the building, too.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate y'all. Moonwalking with Dawn and Daze on 101 TKO Radio.
Whoop, whoop.